Hi, it's Craig here. I needed to do this video because I'm getting a lot of questions about this microphone. Okay, I did a video for it quite a little while ago, and I guess I missed a few things. So if you're not interested, I apologize. You know, you don't have to watch. But I'm getting a lot of questions, and if I can get all the questions over with in one video, that's a lot easier for me. Okay, because I'm behind enough on my messages as it is. Okay, so did a video a little while ago about this MXL 990 studio quality condenser microphone, and a lot of questions that I'm getting revolve around what do you need in order to use this microphone. Okay, well, let's get right to it, okay? I think I mentioned this before, but I'll go through it all again and just listen carefully. These condenser microphones require power, external power, in order to work. They will not work without power. If you buy one of these microphones and plug it in without power, you'll get nothing. And a lot of people have done that. I've done that myself many years ago. So it's called phantom power, and it's called phantom power because you don't see it. It's like a phantom, like a ghost. It's usually built in to a mixer, and it just sort of works. You don't have to do anything or worry about it. Okay? Now, let's start at the beginning. There's two versions of this microphone, and this isn't all about just this microphone. Any microphone is going to require what I'm going to tell you today. But in particular, this microphone comes in two versions. One version plugs into the USB port on your computer. That one does not require a phantom power supply. It takes power from your computer, USB jack, and make sure you've got a powered USB port. It takes power from that and uses it to power the capsule. Okay. The other one is the XLR version. It's the one I have. It's got the plug on the end with the 3 prongs. Plugs into some device, which we'll talk about in a moment. It does require phantom power. Now, if the phantom power is built into the thing you're going to be plugging it into, like mine is, you're all set. But if you're just plugging it to an older mixer that doesn't have phantom power, you're going to have to buy an extra box to add that power to the microphone. Now, the difference between the USB version and the XLR version is that you do not require phantom power for the USB version. However, if you buy the USB version, you're limiting yourself to only ever being able to use it on the computer and nowhere else. So you'll never be able to plug it into a mixer and have, mix with music and stuff like that. It's always just going to be straight into your computer. Great for just voiceovers like this. Great for playing instruments into your computer track by track, doing a little recording and such. As far as I'm concerned, the USB version sounds just as good as the XLR version. They're the same mic. There's just different circuitry in the USB version that converts the signal to digital so it can go through the USB cord. All right. Now, what you need to use a mic like this depends on what you're doing. Okay? So, if you're just doing what I'm doing right now, recording a voice, then all you need is the USB version. It's a little more expensive than the XLR version. So you might want to take a look and consider the fact that you can get the XLR version for about $30 cheaper, and you can buy a phantom power supply for $20. That way, you can use it on any piece of equipment you want. You can plug it into your computer through the audio input jack on your computer, or you can plug it into a mixer or whatever it is you want to do with it. Okay. Now, so let's get back to the question. What do you need? You don't need anything if you've got the USB version. You're done. You're just limited to what you can do with it. That's all. Okay? So we're done with that. Let's talk about the XLR version. You do need a phantom power supply. So what are your options for phantom power supply? Well, the first option I have here, I just found a few things here, is a, let's see if I can pronounce this, Behringer? I don't know. Anyway, it's on the screen. This is a simple phantom power supply. You plug the mic in one side, and out of the other side comes through this mic signal with the phantom power added to it, and you can go right into your mixer or whatever it is you're going into. Now, don't forget, it's going to be coming out of this box as a XLR plug. So this would be for if you have an older mixer that doesn't have phantom power, this is what you'd want to use. Now, why would you want to use a mixer anyway? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. It depends on, again, and depends on what you want to do with the microphone. With this box here, you could also just buy a simple XLR to USB converter, and it would convert the microphone to a USB mic, but you'd need this box to power the mic. But then at least you'd have the option to say, okay, well, it's a USB mic, or I can use it as an XLR mic some other time, and you've got the versatility there. What you could do is step yourself up to something like this, which is a M-Audio Fasttrack. And this has a few more options on it. It does have phantom power. It does have a preamplifier built in. I assume there's some controls there for maybe perhaps equalization or something like that. It has a quarter-inch output, and it has RCA outputs, so a little more versatility there. I don't know if it has a USB output. That I don't know. Okay, but you could, if it did, then you could use it as a you could use it as a LXR to USB converter, and just it's got the phantom power in it, so you're all set. Plug that right into your PC, no problem. The other thing you could do is pick up one of these little numbers here. This is a beautiful little thing. I'm not sure the price. You're going to have to check. It's probably not that expensive. It's an Alesis 4-track, 4-channel little mixer. It does have phantom power. It has 2 microphone inputs. And it has USB out, so you can, again, go into your computer through a USB cord. So you could buy the XLR version of the mic and go in through USB. So USB is a lot cleaner than the audio that your computer has going into it. The audio in on your computer is not usually that good because there's lots of noise there, because it's inside the computer and there's lots of crap going on in there, okay? There's lots of digital signals flying around in there. All right. So with this, you've got 2 mic inputs, and what you could do is you could say, well, for now you could just use the 1 mic, plug it into that, fire it into your computer, and you're done. Okay. But later on, if you want to add a second microphone, or let's say you want to broadcast on Justin TV and play music like I do, you could plug a CD player, or you could plug a music source into here and play music and talk and mix your signals together the way I do. I mean, I have a larger mixer back here that I use, but for what I do on Justin TV, if you want to do a simple podcast, couple of mics, you need phantom power, and you want to maybe put some music in there, maybe some intro, outro music or whatever, then you got this mixer here. It's a great little number for that purpose. Or you might want to move up to something like this. It's got 4 channels, 4 microphones. It looks like there's a compressor on the first 2 channels, so you could do a little bit of compression there. There's EQ controls there. And I'm sure it has a phantom power as well, and lots of different output types, quarter-inch and RCA, and it just gives you a little more control, over what you're doing. The more you want to do outside the computer at the same time, the more you're going to want a mixer. Okay, and all new mixers are going to come with phantom power. Okay, so if you're looking at phantom power and you're looking at getting into some more complex recording down the road, you might want to look into something like this, or the last one we looked at, that little number there that I love. I'm in love with that little thing. Okay, now on the flip side, you could go to something like what I use, which is this one here. And it's a Yamaha mixer. That's the one I've got back behind me here. I was just lucky enough to get this for $220 used. And it's a great mixer. It has built-in effects. It has phantom power, of course. It's got lots of EQ controls and things like that. And I just got that because it was there for cheap. And I just said, man, I'm not going to let that go. But I'm glad I got it now because I do use it for my live broadcast. And it's basically my sound card. And that's the other thing too, is that if you get a mixer with USB, you can use that mixer as your sound card instead of using your sound card. Because I send the signals from my computer out through USB into my mixer, and then it comes out of my mixer and goes into an amplifier and my big speakers up there. Okay? So lots of power, I can crank it up. It's not a cheap little computer amplifier, right? And I can plug a couple of mics in here. I can plug my keyboards in, my iPad. If I want to take Skype calls, I can take a Skype call right now. You guys will hear the Skype caller as well as me on one of these channels here. So the more channels you have, the more things that you can do at the same time on the fly. Okay, so I hope that helps. USB microphone is the simplest way to go. But if you want more versatility, then you need yourself some sort of phantom power supply, and the complexity of that depends on what you're doing. If you just need phantom power, then just get a phantom power box. If you'd like to plug maybe a guitar or maybe something in as well as your microphone and do a little performance, then you're going to need something with a couple more inputs like the M Audio or those other mixers that I showed you. And it all depends on what you can afford, what price range you're looking at. Okay, so I hope that clears up all the questions. Look at, there's more expensive microphones out there that don't sound as good as this mic. I don't want to come across as like I'm selling the mic. I did buy the microphone. I did pay for it, and I did contact MXL and asked them if they wanted me to do more product reviews, and I never heard back. So I guess they don't want me to do that. They don't like my product reviews, I guess. So, so I'm being completely honest with you. I would have loved to review more microphones, but I can't afford to buy them all. So if I figured if they wanted to send me some demo models, let me review them, and then let me send them back, I would have done that, but they didn't call me back, so that's fine. If you're going to get more serious, if you're going to do professional voiceovers, they might ask you, what kind of microphone do you have? Then you might not want to say, well, it's an MXL 990, that $60 mic that you can get from, you might want to have a better mic. A great voiceover microphone is there's lots of great ones out there. There's a Heil PR40 microphone, which is used by a lot of radio guys. So if you're into that kind of thing, then that's the mic I would recommend. It's expensive. It's $400. It's when you got the shock mount and everything and the pop filter, it gets up quite high. Personally, I don't think it sounds better than this microphone. I've heard literally side-by-side comparisons between that mic and this mic, and I don't see that one sounds better, but it might be more suited for radio because it has a warmer sound. These mics tend to have a more of a softer kind of a sparkly sound on the high end, whereas a mic like the PR40 has a more robust mid-range bottom and a more sort of a less soft high end. It's got a more radio sounding thing to it. So that's where that mic comes in, and that's what a lot of the pros use. But there's a hell of a lot of microphones out there that are great, and Audio Technica has a few out. These guys have all kinds of mics. But if you're just looking for a budget microphone, as I said before, this is the one. And if you're wondering what you need to run it, I just told you. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching. I hope that helps. And if you have any more questions, please get in touch. In the meantime, cheers. Happy recording. Good luck.